This is the most vapid season we've ever seen.
This is the worst season that I've seen.
Why are you on Love is Blind looking for a rich man? Tax deduction
is the
because
DESI show.
you will mold your husband. He'll get it eventually. And it's like, no, he won't. She needs therapy. We need therapy.
We genuinely need therapy after watching this.
Let me know what you guys think if you enjoyed this. Full disclosure, also make sure you're following City FM 89's YouTube because we have so much content coming out now, much of which has been produced by my friend over here. And make sure
I would just like to ask you guys nicely. Subscribe, hit that notification bell because honestly, it actually really helps. You will know when we do stuff like this.
Absolutely. Hello, Pakistan, and I'm wishing you a very happy weekend. I think with us here on Full Disclosure, I am so damn excited because today we are shooting, damn is a loud word, our very first episode of the Full Disclosure podcast series. Hey, and I am so lucky that my first guest on the show is my producer of 5.5 years, Miss Elhaam Shaikh.
Thank you for having me.
Full name.
Thank you for conning me into doing this.
Yeah. I literally messaged her 2 days ago because the most important, I think this happens 85 times a year is
Absolutely. I was just going to say, we give a lot of importance to these reality shows.
Yeah, a lot of importance. One of the things me and Elhaam have connected on is trash television.
Absolutely.
She introduced me to some of the best series of all time, Below Deck, number one. But what we're here about today is the way our camera people are looking at me like I'm some sort of street ogre. Okay, that Love is Blind season 7. Very similar to the Full Disclosure radio show. It took me 40 seconds to get to the actual title of what we're doing today. Love is Blind USA season 7, I should say, because now they're dropping all over the damn globe. A lot of people were like, excuse me, where is the review of Love is Blind? Because that's one of the things I do. And I got onto it. I tried. Each episode is like a Hobbit movie, 60 minutes plus. It is crazy. Feature-length films.
Considering that, the last 6 seasons, we've watched it all, right? I never remember it being this long.
I don't think it was. But I also think, although I might contradict myself later, this is the most vapid season we've ever seen.
This is the worst season that I've seen.
The worst. So I'm...
human beings... They are not human beings.
No.
There's something really wrong with society if that is the best that you can pick for a reality show.
And that too from Washington, D.C., which, by the way, that's where I'm from. So, a lot of the things these people talk about, a lot of the things we're seeing...
Makes sense.
Makes sense. And also all that military propaganda that's up in there.
We're going to get into it. Do you want to do a slight recap?
Yeah. So, first...
For those who haven't watched...
So Love is Blind, if you've never watched it, basically...
Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers... Oh, please. They culturally appropriated the Rishta culture. They stole from us. And they essentially created a dating show where people date without ever seeing each other or meeting or touching. It is our parents' dream come true. And then they end up getting engaged. They spend about a month together as fiancés. And then they have to decide at the altar whether they're going to go through with it or not. So quite literally, somebody met an Indian or a Pakistani in university and was like, hey, second, this makes sense. Let's try it. Or they heard about all our parents who've been married for 100 years.
Would you go on the show?
Listen.
If some producer like me out there contacted you randomly and said, hey, Sabah, would you be down for season 21?
Yeah, I can't believe she still thinks I'm single during season 21. Let me tell you, here's the thing. When I found out about Love is Blind Habibi, the way I was livid that I was like, listen, I might not speak Arabic, but you could have gotten me in there with some subtitles. I don't know, because as much in theory as I feel like, but I feel like we'd be one of those people who are edited out immediately.
No.
Because any man who speaks to us.
You.
Fair.
Not me.
Any man who speaks to me, I'd be like, you're dumb. And I hate this.
But the thing is, I'm not in it to get married.
I'm in it to go through the experiment.
I'm in it to go through the experiment, find some fascinating human beings, because I'm sure there's
you would be one of the true love
300 love red flags on the other end of that wall. Okay, 300 of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick out each of those red flags, probably fall for the one with the most red flags, because that's my jam.
Yeah.
And then probably get really like influencer level rich right after and start my own podcast.
I was going to say you'd either be like a Cameron and Lauren type situation, which is like they're the first couple that, right?
Yeah.
But they were like actually in love and like built a life together. Or you'd be like, we're going on Perfect Match next season, and you're gonna have like brand deals, and suddenly you're at Paris Fashion Week. Elhaam is one of two things.
The reason why most of these people do it.
100%, especially this season.
I mean, even the ones that fall in love, the amount of brand deals they get.
Yeah, especially as couples. So all of a sudden they all got Target ads.
It's double.
It's double.
I mean, look at Love Island, which is a whole other episode.
Yeah.
We will get into that too once the season starts. But like, look at all of these reality shows. Majority of the people are on it. Yes, they don't admit it at first.
Yeah.
Obviously, they will say we are here to fall in love. We're here because we're don't have time in life to go out
Or they're
on
like,
the
we're
dating apps.
just so tired of the game, and I'm like, you're 26. You're 26.
Talk to the 30-year-olds here.
Like literally today I had to glue my leg on in order to get up the stairs. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
I will say this season. Okay, so this season, the youngest person, Hannah, is 26, and the youngest man is a man named Nick, who's 28. They end up matching with one another.
I would just like to give everyone out there a little bit of a full disclosure that I don't know any of their names.
Yeah, so Elhaam does not know their names, so we have nicknames. Some of them we can't. Ooh, see, look, that was already 10 minutes.
My favorite thing to do when I watch a reality show with a lot of people, with like a giant cast, is to name them according to their quirks.
Yeah. So what do you call Hannah? Are they even
Boots?
boots?
Because in the first episode, she was wearing thigh-high boots.
Yeah, and she actually has pretty decent style. I'm gonna give it to her. That
Not
this
bad.
season we have some baddies for sure.
Not bad.
And what do you call Nick Dorka?
Is he the big giant?
Nay, he's
White
the
guy who
opposite.
thinks
He's
he's
her
black?
fiance, Nick Dorka. His name is Dork, literally Dork.
Literally dork.
So how do we go? See, the thing is, I tried to shoot this for my own content so many times, and I spent so much time on each couple. So that's why I actually set an alarm because
I don't think we should break it down couple-wise. I think we should get into the drama of the last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Because so much happened.
let's just get right into it. I'm just going to give a quick recap of who's with who. Nick is with Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah is someone who has openly admitted that she has weight issues, this and that. But like, she's actually like a thin woman, but she's like 5'9". She's just bigger girl. She's engaged to a man named Nick Dorka, aptly titled. God was on his side with that one. He was like, I'm going to make it make sense. You know what I mean?
Who apparently also lied about his height.
Yeah, who lied about his age. And we will get into that.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Ashley and Tyler. And Ashley is like the baddest baddie on the show, best style I've ever seen on this show. She's the only one who didn't like look at Real Housewives and was like, what should I wear? And she's with a guy, Tyler, and we all were like, oh my God. And turns out that guy is
I legit thought that they would be the ones to make it.
I thought they were the new it couple. But
He's the one who prays.
Yeah.
Before everything.
But we got another swindler, my friends. He's a swindler. Now we have Steven and Monica. Monica is like who's 36 and unwed, which is destroying her. And like literally, we will get into it. She's with Steven, who didn't know he was part black.
Sabah, when that scene happened, I couldn't control myself. I think I picked up my phone and probably wanted to throw it across.
The way I messaged everyone in our lives collectively, and I was like, when you reach this point, I literally was like, you have 40 minutes of this episode. Can you just tell me when you get to that point? Because we need to talk.
Also, like this man,
he just didn't want
casting.
Yeah.
By the producer. I must say,
Yeah.
Good job, producers, because he brought a lot of the drama.
There
There were so many moments where his mouth, his foot,
there was so many moments where I sat there and I was like, if I had been on this season, I'd be in jail because I would have beat this man with a bat. This man is diabolical.
He also has crazy eyes.
Yeah, and he was like, I voted for Trump. Anyways, politics. Okay, he's with Monica. Monica, another problem in itself. All the women stunning. Also stunningly, beautifully stupid. Okay, and the next one we have is, God, there's so many this season.
Yeah.
Marissa and Ramses. So Ramses is the ones with the Lutz.
Yeah.
And Marissa is the one who's like, I was in the Navy, but I hate the Army, but I dated a Trump supporter, but I'm a libertarian, but like she doesn't.
But I love the Army.
But I love the Army, but I hate what they do, but I don't have student loans. Like it's like a whole thing with
there's
her.
so much
She
going
doesn't
on
know
there.
who she is.
She doesn't know who she is.
That's point blank period. This girl has no idea who she is. And Ramses is I don't know yet. We'll get into it. I think that's all of them. No, then we have
No.
Who's
You're
that?
missing out the best one.
Who?
Brittany.
Oh, Brittany
and the art
Leo
dealer.
and the art
That's
dealer.
a whole other.
It's insane.
I think we should start the breakdown with those two.
Yeah, and we're like 20 minutes into this, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, Leo they did not make it to these last 3 episodes.
Mr. Richie Rich
Mr.
is what I
Richie
call
Rich.
him.
Yeah, Richie Rich.
So many things wrong with that boy.
Yeah.
Like, firstly, he's not rich.
There's no way.
No, nobody knows about his art. His art gallery is apparently a glass art gallery. They only deal in glass.
What?
Yeah, I read somewhere.
Listen, I'm a
Someone
huge
did a
fan
deep
of that
dive
Glass show on
looking-
Netflix.
That's
they
a whole
don't
separate-
got no money.
They don't got
They
no money.
got no money.
No,
Yeah.
there's no money in that. But his grandparents built that art gallery. It's been around forever. He did probably inherit a lot from them, but he's not like royalty rich. He's not. The way he's making it seem, saying things like, "Oh yeah, I went to college. I did this. I did that." Yeah, fine. You have money to go to college, to pay for college, but that doesn't set the standard because most of America doesn't have money.
Well, I would say that every season, that I pick people who I'm like, they would fit right into Pakistani society.
They all do.
Leo, I was like, there's our little Aitchison boy right there because he's in the delusion of so much. And have you seen all these conspiracy theories that are like he killed his family to get his inheritance? Now, I don't think that's true. I will say this. I had a touch of empathy for him only because I was like,
No,
to
I had
be
zero.
31
Zero.
and all your elders are gone, that's kind of crazy. However, to all my ladies,
I'm sorry, I can't have empathy for him because every time he opens his mouth,
you want to hit him in the
and also
schnoz.
that one scene where he's just yelling,
throwing his body.
like it
Flailing.
was insane, and you could tell, like I could
Wo
tell.
ottoman ka kya kasoor tha? That's what I want to know. He's body slamming that ottoman.
100% he's playing it up for the cameras.
Yeah.
100%.
I think, okay, so with Leo, so basically he constantly talks about his money in the most, when they say women are gold diggers, I want all y'all to watch Love is Blind and see the scene where all the men on that show are taking turns trying on his Rolex. Ew. Ick. I really wish the women had a feed so they could have all known that they should just go home because these men are losers. Okay. And he was doing that and he's like, I just don't want women to use me for my money, but I have so much money. I went to private school. I played tennis. Every boy and every Aitchison boy right now is like, what do you mean? Is that not
There was
a special
while
thing?
he was talking about that, there was
Yeah.
like 2 other guys who obviously didn't make the cut for the show because
Yeah.
they might have been slightly more normal.
Yeah,
than the
they
others.
might have like had
There was a
401ks.
dude just like took a tissue and just like hit his face.
Yeah, he was
because I'm
like-
sure he was cracking up.
cracking up. That guy was, when he was like, not everyone can have a Rolex. Not everyone can have a Rolex. And that guy was actually mad handsome. I don't know. But, and actually on this other review I saw, they were like, why didn't we see more of him? Also, there was one
So
of our
there's
people's
a whole
on the show.
there's articles and articles about, and also on this season there's another article. So we're jumping ahead, but Leo and the girl he eventually
Brittany.
poor thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, and good for her to take a stand and be like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this or
Yeah.
not. I don't know if I want to go to Mexico with you or
Yeah.
not. So she kind of redeemed herself, but
So Brittany's,
none of us are on her
our
side.
introduction to Brittany is,
Miss Trophy Wife is
she's
what I
like,
call her.
I'm here to be a trophy wife. Here's my problem with that. I'm somebody who has a national radio show and posts my dumbass face, on the internet all the time, right? People who seek some level of fame ain't normal, okay? And also, they're not rich. Why are you on Love is Blind looking for a rich man? That doesn't make sense.
The thing is, I'm telling you, then she's not looking for a man.
She's looking for a career.
She can get a man if she wants, and she said that repeatedly.
Yeah.
She can. She's looking for a long-term career as either an influencer or a podcaster or whatever comes after being on a national reality show.
Do you think that that's going to happen for her?
Yeah.
Because now all of them are posting TikToks, by the way.
Yes.
I've seen a couple of them.
I can see it happening. I can see eBay sponsoring her at some point.
So Leo is
I can also see her on another reality show after this.
Perfect Match. Done. Let me tell you something. Since Netflix introduced Perfect Match, it has turned Love is Blind diabolical because these people are like, we need a second chance at life, and this is the way.
And tomorrow after Perfect Match, there'll be another one.
Yeah,
the perfect match.
You know they're doing like a Bachelor
right
reality season where Love is Blind contestants are going on.
It's gonna keep happening because people like you and me keep eating it up constantly.
Yeah. Okay, so Leo is manufactures essentially because look, we produce content. We know he manufactures a love triangle between him and Hannah and Brittany. Okay, he screams at Hannah when and he's open with Hannah. He's like, yeah, I don't know, like I'm really feeling it with Brittany too, and and did you notice how he would keep saying their names?
Yeah,
I saw this analysis of him where somebody was like, he's never talked to women, like he doesn't know how to flirt with them. He doesn't know how to talk because he kept being like, Hannah listen, Brittany, Hannah. If I had been sitting there and someone said Sabah that many times, I would have been like, why do you keep saying my name?
My only thing is that like there are certain things about the show that really they confuse me, but also they fascinate me. Like these couples, they're sitting behind a screen. I understand that. There's, of course, producers are feeding little pieces of content to them also and guiding them along just to get that drama out of it. They treat the word love and like marriage and this and that in such a flippant way.
Flippant as hell.
Like, oh, I told you I love you, so now we have to get married. What? I told my dog I love you.
And I will once again say, I have never heard anything more Pakistani in my life, and Netflix needs to cut us a check, gives us some tax deduction because
DESI show.
It's literally like, I saw her at the school gate. And now I love her. And my parents are going to her parents' house. And she's like, which one were you? Like,
also,
I don't know who you are.
Also, I love it. And again,
I have two cousins who got married that way, by the way.
I love the fact that all the parents, when they finally take when they move into part 2 that comes out, all the parents are just like, but how?
See, I just
barely know each other. I met you for the first time.
I feel like two of the parents, which I was especially surprised because they were like the black dads of these super accomplished black women.
Yeah.
I feel like they gave in too easy. What would your dad do on a show like this?
My dad would straight up be like, no, you're not going on the show.
My dad, if I walked into my dad's living room and was like, here, meet, I don't know, Adnan or whatever, my dad would be like, meet this rifle. What are we doing? Like, you can't just bring a man into my house and say, oh, by the way, mangni ho gayi. He'd kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I couldn't do that to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and not even just him, my mother. My mother would literally be putting gasoline around the room and lighting a match and being like, guess what? Now we're all blowing up. Now what? You stupid idiot.
The thing is that like, I just feel like, no. So with one of those dads, he's really sick.
Yeah.
So he probably
that
wants
honestly,
to see, like, that was really sweet. But also like the
Alex's
the
father with Tim. Yeah.
The way that they...
God, we missed a lot of couples, actually. Alex, Tim, Garrett, Taylor. We missed... There's so many couples.
You're the one who knows their names.
Yeah. Okay, Alex and Tim is attitude girl, basically.
Right.
She reminds me of me a lot, I'm not going to lie. She's with Tim, who was like, my siblings are dead. My siblings are dead.
She does not love him.
No, she does not love him at all. Then we have Garrett and Taylor, who she's like the Asian girl. And
oh, yeah. Serial killer couple. They give serial killer vibes. I'm sorry.
First of all, he's a racist.
He's 100% racist.
He's 100% racist. So, Elhaam, you just mentioned, like, not all the parents are on board. Garrett's mother actually starts crying when they meet Taylor and is like, you know, it's just all moving so fast and, like, you know, it's just so fast. Here's my thing. I don't know their family dynamic. We literally see like hours of footage of them. It's clearly not the minimal cuts that edits give. I cannot imagine any scenario where a white blonde woman walked into that house and they were like, it's moving too fast. No. They'd be like, we're going to fly your parents in. We're going to have a bacon dinner. Like, they would be down bad on this.
I'm telling you, it's problematic. And it's all 100%. Yesterday, I saw a picture of two scenes. She's wearing one of the girls, attitude girl.
Yeah,
she's wearing a dress, different shoes. And it was the exact same scene. And people have, obviously, eagle-eyed people have picked up on it, that there are different cuts. The producers have picked and chosen, and at different times of the day or different hours of the day or whatever. And they've picked and chosen and kind of sliced and put scenes together. So it's all very well crafted for our viewing pleasure, and for us to also make up all kinds of like drama out of it and then discuss it on a podcast or whatever.
It's been like 20 minutes. I don't even know if we've gotten into the review. We haven't even hit the last 3 episodes, which are the most important. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Garrett and Taylor. So she is the Asian one who didn't tell him her ethnicity. You haven't seen the scene. I feel like I'm the only one in the world who is having a problem with this. I'm so crazy that I commented on Taylor's TikTok and was like, can you please tell me how you felt about that scene? Because I feel like no one's talking about it. She hasn't responded. But basically, she's like, oh yeah, we call my mom by her first name because it suits her so well. And then she's like, actually, she seems to catch herself and is like, I can't tell you her name because it'll give away my ethnicity, which will, ruin the experiment. This man, Garrett, whose top lip is so missing that I tweeted, should men get lip filler? Okay, he was my inspiration.
This guy really triggered you in that moment.
He stopped breathing. He was like, and look, they're in DC, so I thought he's gonna cyanide capsule, and like truly, this man was ready to cry. And I'm not saying that he was imagining an Asian beauty. She literally looks like Olivia Munn on the other side.
She's beautiful,
stunner.
Yeah.
I think he was afraid that she might be black. She might be Muslim. Like there was something in it that he was like, oh no. And I mean, editing is one thing, dog. That was like 4 minutes where he was talking. Like it wasn't that they were like pulling awkward pauses.
No, but you could tell that she was also really awkward in that moment.
But
where
yet
she was like,
she didn't push
why
back.
Is this? No, but then this is the thing. We don't see all of it.
That's also fair.
And every contestant, when they come out of it, they say this in every single interview. They're like, there was days and days. They edited in such a way where you see day 1, day 2, day 3, and then married, right? But for them, it's like 2, 3, 4 weeks of them just sitting
in the pods.
Apparently, it's a while. It's like at least 2 weeks. It's at least 2 weeks in the pods.
I've never seen a window.
That's also because there's no windows in the pod. But
I'm saying even in their living quarters, it just always looks like this type of lighting, this beautiful lighting, which I love.
Probably
made a fist. I was like, go to hell. You're never using my light again. But like that, I felt like. I know. You sit here and you'll be like, well, if that was me, that's how I would have reacted. I know that I would have been like, okay, let's unpack this real quick. Why are you melting down? Because he called her calculating.
Yeah, he
for
did.
not admitting her ethnicity.
But again, if right now we're having this conversation, I'm going to edit this episode.
Yeah.
I edit out bits where you make it sound like you're calling me calculated.
Yeah.
I can easily do that.
I'll just say it. Do you believe that not telling your ethnicity is staying true to the purpose of the show? Or do you think, like, especially for people who aren't white, it's kind of a dangerous move?
Look, I can completely understand from the perspective of, because the experiment is done in such a way where they truly want you to get to know the other person for their personality and for who they really are, not aesthetically what they look like and not like overall. So I understand her perspective where she was like, look, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this the right way.
Yeah.
You need to fall in love with me as from inside, not from the outside.
Yeah.
So you can't know what I look like. First, let's get there. And then I'll tell you what I look like. And then if you have a problem with it, then clearly you have a problem with this. And clearly, he didn't, because she fit the...
Except in Mexico, he said, I would have never approached her, but the attraction is growing.
He would have never approached her because I think he
said, I would have never approached her. The way I stood like this and looked at my screen, and I was like, he's not saying it like, oh no, she's too pretty for me. She's Aishwarya and I'm this.
No.
He said, I would not walk up to this Asian woman at a bar. I mean, I don't know, Kohi, and be like, I'm into you. Then a few moments later, that SpongeBob meme, they're sitting next to each other, and he's like, we would have never met in real life. I'd be too intimidated to talk to you. And I was like,
no,
listen,
but then
he also
followed it up with, but I was always really busy working, so we'd have no time to meet.
I was busy working.
It was his out.
That was his out
He
because
realized.
his mother says the same thing, which is when she meets her, she's like, I mean, you guys would have never met, huh? And I'm like, yeah, because clearly y'all are hanging out at like Ku Klux Klan rallies. You are racist. She has the racist hair.
I think we need to unpack the next 3.
Okay, let's go.
I think we need to do that.
I think we should leave.
It's the most fresh, and clearly I have forgotten everything.
Okay, let's go. Let's go right into Marissa and Ramses. Marissa and Ramses is Lutz.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Can I just start by saying that we've had 2 batches of episodes come out, right?
Yeah.
Like this is part 3 that's come out.
And then 3 together.
So these 3 that came out, I mean, we lost one couple.
Yeah.
Just when everyone got engaged.
Yeah, Leo and Brittany, who went to Miami on their own. We didn't even finish talking about them, but Psycho Leo basically screams at one and then decides to go for the other one. And the other one's like, you don't like me. Why are we engaged? They end up going to Miami. We don't even get to see them.
Yeah.
People were like, why would this gold digger go to Miami with this art dealer? And I was like, to get an Hermes bag. Use your brains, guys. Use these men for bags.
Producers really came under fire for that one.
Yeah.
I was sure that they would bring them back somehow for like to create drama. Like once all the couples were in Mexico, you know how like last season they had like one couple walk in later after they had patched things up or whatever. Yeah. So I was convinced something like that would happen, that these two kind of reconcile and they figured their life out and then they came in. But no, they did not follow them, and the producers actually put out something saying
they
that
had to.
We're not going to, because we already have an extra couple this season and budgetary constraints, which I completely understand. I get it.
First of all, Netflix is charging me out here in Pakistan. And when I'm in my apartment in Karachi, they're like, you need to prove that you're in the same family as the one in Pindi or we're charging you extra. So go to hell. You have the budget. You took it from me. What are we talking about here? Netflix.
Okay, so we're one couple.
Netflix in this.
We are one couple down.
Yeah.
Okay, at the beginning.
Yeah.
And now in these 3 episodes, we're another 2 couples down, dude.
Okay, so actually, we'll go with Marissa and Ramses because I do want to say that one of the things that I was most, not angry, but like, I think now that my eyes have opened up and I see it as an American myself, I'm like, oh, wow. So much military propaganda. Now, was this because they're in DC? And so it just so happens that lots of DC people are in the army and stuff like that. But I'll tell you this, I'm from DC. I'm also brown though, but like I don't see a ton of army people down there. And we're talking about the US Army for the, please.
Can I just say that you were so triggered?
I was mad.
Now you're trying to sell it as if, it's great for them to be talking about the military.
I'm saying,
and we had this conversation just before this. I will fight you on this.
Listen, they're in the pods, and I want to point out that Steven is an ex-Marine. Steven,
all of them
is an
ex-Marine. Somehow.
So if you can be that stupid and be a Marine, that seems like it shouldn't happen. In the pods, I was like, this is military propaganda, and I'm cackling because I'm saying like, it's so transparent. We learn next to nothing about these women, but I know a man's entire story about going and fighting for Ukraine. Are you kidding me?
That was really
long.
In your face.
It was like 16 minutes of just and then I went to Ukraine. God. And then he's like, let me tell you the story of when I was training in Kuwait.
I fast forwarded all of that.
If I didn't pay for my own TV, I was about to take my chappal off and be like, tu kya kar raha tha Kuwait mein? Go home. Like, get out of our countries, you weirdos. Anyways, American. So she's with Ramses. Now, Marissa's an ex-Navy person, okay? Because apparently, that exists. Annapolis in DC. She's with Ramses, who literally looks like...
Yeah, but he is the typical
I go
Gen
to Bali.
Z chap who is very against the war, but very against all.
Because
all
he comes from Venezuela. So if no one in Pakistan is going to know where Venezuela is.
But when he explained that, it completely made complete sense. Like, he is one of us. We would all relate to that.
Yeah.
But then he went and chose this girl who is the complete opposite.
Because I think she presented herself to be like, I don't want a military man. I don't want nothing to do with the military anymore. Like, I'm out, blah, blah, blah. Which is why I say this woman has no idea who she is.
No, she doesn't.
You listen. They've stolen our culture to make this show, but do not steal our brains also. You cannot find yourself through marriage. You
Not gonna lie.
You can grow together.
I have lost a bunch of brain cells, especially on this season.
Especially this season. So this girl, Marissa, at first I was like, okay, I was like, she's so hot, like whatever. But then I was like, she's dumb. She dated a Trump supporter for 3 years. And after 3 years, she was like, I realized our values might not align. And I was like, 3 saal lage. It took me 2 minutes of watching you on
She's
screen.
a chameleon. I think she's that girl who changes herself according to whatever relationship 100%. She's in.
So now she's chosen this hippy dippy type of guy.
And now they're having problems.
Yeah. And then but what I liked, so what she's calling me out on is what I liked is, he's on Netflix. Netflix is a show watched around the world. Love is Blind is their biggest output. And during this time when U.S. imperialism is literally demolishing like our people, he's like, I don't support the military at all. And I think it's a moral thing. And I don't think that people with good morality join it. And I think if you join it, you should still be held responsible for the things you do. And the fact that he did not back down. And then he told other veterans that she met her the same thing. And he was like, I stand with Palestine. Like, I stand with the people. That is what I was shocked that they haven't edited that out or put a note that's like, we stand with,
Yeah, no, I am, because they also know majority of the people out there are also with the same views.
Yeah.
That it's split. Over there, it's split. He said all of this. I was with him. I was all for him. I was like, okay, this one good chap. Good job. And then comes episode 9.
Yeah, which we can't even really...
We can't talk about, but if you watch it, you will know. The way I screamed at the screen. I don't scream at screens.
Laughing, but I'm like, mar diye hote.
Allah.
But I think she's trying. Here's my thing. I've been a coward before, believe it or not. She is trying to get him to break up with her.
So selfish.
Selfish, gross.
Yeah.
And also, when you think that they've only known each other 6 weeks, don't get married, brother. But I also feel like she is trying to get him to break up because she's flippy floppy.
Yeah.
She was like, you be the stay-at-home dad. I'm going to go out there, be a lawyer. Also, they're overestimating the amount of money lawyers make.
No, in all seriousness, I think both of them want to break up.
Yeah, want to break up.
And both of them are just now pushing each other's buttons to see who's going to cave
Please
first.
end this.
So the other one doesn't look bad.
Exactly, because the whole world is watching
Straight up.
you.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. So really hope they break up. They should not get married.
Yeah.
And we stand Ramses just for that part. Otherwise, he's just a man on a reality show, which means he's not well. Okay, now we can go to Tyler and Ashley A.
Wait, how do I know them?
So Tyler and Ashley A are the ones that the one who prays and the woman who was like, that's
Prayer
my
boy.
Man. I'm wearing really cool pants and really
the
cool
one
shoes.
I legit thought that would make it. Because
I thought they were going to get a spin-off.
They were kind of wholesome. They were very into each other. He was very nice. He was very, supportive. She was chill.
Yeah.
There were no flags
They
that you
seemed
could
like
see.
they would have liked each other in the real
Until
world.
you texted me last
So
week.
I texted him, let me get the tea piping hot for y'all. I put out my review. While it's uploading, I see Jessie Wu, who, if you're into Love is Blind, fantastic reviewer of Love is Blind, new video pops up. I'm like, Chalo, let me watch while Instagram is loading. Tyler, who we have watched for 7 episodes at this point, be like, how many kids do you want? What kind of life? What kind of traditions? What kind of holiday? I can't wait to have a family. Turns out this man got 3 kids, 2 ex-fiancés, a debt collector looking for $38,000 USD in child support. He told people that he only participated, I don't even know the language we can use, but in the making of these children to like help a couple who couldn't have kids.
Yeah.
Turns out they have his last name. He raises them. They do Christmas together. His mother, with a public Instagram account and Facebook account, posts photos of them, my grandbabies. And this man on our TV screens came on a show and went, No kids, no wife, nothing.
I saw a meme the other day where he's sitting there in bed and he's like, just before bed, and he's like praying.
Yes.
And there's a little thought bubble that says, and I would like to pray for our kids. No, their kids. No, his kids. No, my fiance. No, my ex-fiance.
Yeah.
No. I just like to pray for everyone. Everybody.
So the sick thing, if the T is correct, which I'm sure we're going to learn on the reunion if he can show up.
Which now she's found out.
She has found out, but
and
apparently
that relationship's over, right?
He abandoned his kids a year ago, apparently. So a year ago, he wiped them from social media. Like, basically when he got casted.
Probably, yeah. When he got, because they get casted
a year prior.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was wild, crazy. And we see them have a conversation where she's like, you were telling me like you want 6 kids. So she's like, so did you mean 3 additional? Like, what is going on here? And he's just like, I feel like he didn't really say much.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't. He knew this is it. It's over.
And just so
it's
y'all
all come out, it's done.
Just so y'all know, in the US, when you get married, your partner's debt is your debt.
Yeah.
So fully,
it's all
I believe
50-50.
Yeah, I believe this man was fishing for somebody to help him pay back his child
and
support.
good for her to find out and get out of there so fast.
Yeah.
Because I understood.
I don't think she fully ended it, did
no,
she?
No. The screen fades to black and that
that
they're done.
means cut them short.
They're done. They're done. Next couple.
Okay, because actually this is a bit larger conversation on how Netflix Love is Blind puts women in danger, okay? Because that's a crazy situation. Now I want to quickly go into Nick and Hannah. Nick and Hannah, Hannah's Boots, Nick is Dorka.
Yeah.
Dorka and Boots get together. The whole time she believes that he is going to be some big man because he keeps talking about how he plays football.
He was a smooth talker in the
Smooth
pods.
talker, very charming. And the thing that really upsets me is he said at one point, I'm like Henry Cavill, but not as buff. Do you know who Henry Cavill is?
Of course I know.
That is Superman, y'all. That is Mission Impossible punch in the mirror.
He's a big guy.
The Witcher.
His shoulders alone.
His jaw, he is truly God gave with both hands.
Yes.
God said, you are going to be beautiful, you are going to be talented, you are going to be massive, and you are going to be Sabah's phone background, okay? This man said, I am a less buff Henry Cavill. Granted, he said less buff. But what does that mean? You're at least 6'4".
Yeah.
You got a chiseled jawline. You're good looking. I'm not saying this man is a complete uggo, but I'm saying that if you tell me you look like...
Oh, it's like you got him...
This is like if
You ordered Henry Cavill and you got the Daraz version.
Yeah, I was like, or I said to you, like, oh, by the way, like, I'm Megan Fox's body double. Actually, like, no one can tell us apart. And then
once a season.
But isn't it interesting how we filet mignon Miss Chelsea for saying she looked like Megan Fox?
Yeah.
When she actually, by comparison, is more of the category of a Megan Fox versus this guy who also said, I'm better looking than Travis Kelce.
Oh, no, I'm totally...
Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
No, I destroyed him.
Yeah, good.
I destroyed him.
Because I did too. Because again, Taylor Swift's boyfriend's also a big dog. He's
guy,
a big dude.
No. He straight up lied. I like her.
Thank you. I like Hannah too.
I like her. She's got her life together.
People are saying she's so mean. And I'm like, he's so dumb.
He has mommy issues.
He lives with his mommy.
He lives with mommy. Mommy cooks for him, cleans for him, does everything for
Pakistanis
him. The dude can't boil pasta.
He said, I'm a cook for you. And then he was begging her that what do I put the pasta water on? She's like, to the point of boil. He goes, so like what number is that?
I don't blame her for being frustrated, but I do blame her for continuing this on.
I blame her.
Because she does not want him.
Yeah. I blame her for going for the guy that she just wanted because she thought in the real world that would be the unattainable one. The big dude with the big personality. She wanted her football man. Now, people were like, she's insecure. How dare she judge how he looks? I'm going to say this. I'm not 5'9". I know that spiritually I feel 5'9", medically diagnosed 5'4". But I'm a big dog myself. Like, I'm a big girl. I've always have been, born 11 pounds, came out of the world ready to fight. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I know it's patriarchy. I know these are beauty standards set by men, not by women. I don't want to be bigger than my guy.
No, but
I get Hannah's point.
It's not about beauty standards being set by men.
Yeah.
I think you are entitled to. I don't think this experiment. Yeah, fine. It's great for us to watch and stuff.
Yeah.
But you fall in love. When you fall in love with the entire package.
Everything.
You don't just fall in love with the heart.
Yeah.
right? Yes, it's a big deal to fall in love with the heart. I always go for the personality, the heart,
Yeah.
whatever. But
Listen,
the package counts.
If you're a funny dude and you look like you were mangled, I will probably still find you hot because I'm laughing. Like, I get it. Like, the things all work together.
It's different for different
but
people.
I fully understand being a woman, always being the biggest in the room, and just this one aspect of your life, you don't want to be the bigger person. Like, and I mean that physically. You
Yeah.
will always be the bigger person as a woman, spiritually, but I mean physically. He lied about what he looked like.
Yeah.
And now he don't have a real job. He's a
No.
realtor. Okay, that's like freelance work. He lives with his parents. I know Pakistanis are like, so do I. You're different. Shut up. He lives in their basement apartment. He doesn't pay his own phone bill. He doesn't pay for his car insurance.
Oh my God,
he
did my
does not
mind
manage.
blow. Like, I felt for her when he told her that his parents still pay for his phone bill. For God's sake.
How are you picking up a wife if you don't know how to load your jazz cash and get your phone bill paid, my brother?
For God's sake.
For Lord's sakes, have some Shudham. Let's bring back Shudham.
Yes.
100%, because that is crazy work to me. He
what's
said we're going to
crazy is
move
that
into my parents'
I
basement.
would have, if I was Hannah, I would have walked out right then.
I would have, if I'm being 100,
Why is she still with him?
the fact that she stuck it out when he blatantly lied about what he looked like, the fact that she stuck it out when he was disrespectful in Mexico, I actually thought she was being a stick in the mud. But
Initially,
now,
I did too.
But now,
I was like, why is she being so
boring,
he's-
mean.
But I get it. I get that
Yeah.
he's being immature and childish, and she's like asking him nicely to not do it, and he
Yeah.
still goes ahead and does it just to.
pick at her, which is
Yeah.
something that Tim and Alex did, but they're boring. We don't care about that. So she's sticking it out with this dude, except I thought the most beautiful scene was he didn't know how to cook for her after, and like she starts talking to him about finances and is like, hey, well, what about stocks? Or what about this? And what about that? And he was like, oh, I don't even, like, his brain is frying. He doesn't know how to talk. She's like, are we going to have
He's
joint
a
account?
man child.
And then she goes,
You know what he is?
Yeah.
He's that football jock.
Yeah.
He's that typical from those rom-coms. He's that typical
The one who
football
peaked in
jock
high school.
who peaks in high school.
Yeah.
And then the rest of his life, he's just this giant man-child who keeps talking about high school.
Yeah.
And that's what he is. And she is this grown-up who has her life together, who is adulted very young in life. And so by this time in her life, she genuinely wants to settle down with a man.
And I saw again people being like, well, she's being really mean. And I'm like, well, to be honest, she probably feels like she was robbed of this actual opportunity to meet a grown man.
Maybe my favorite.
Thank you. Justice for Hannah. Justice for big girls. Justice for girls who know what stocks are. She goes, I'll teach you about stocks. And he goes, well, you don't know about football. And she goes, does that make us money? Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Hannah deserves better.
Why is
she still with
Netflix
him?
casting people who are jobless, homeless,
For
stockless, for drama? And my thing is, they pick women who really have it going on. Like, truly, they have 401ks, they have property, they have things that if they lost these things, it would be detrimental to their life. And these men are like, they looked into a sewer grate and like pulled whatever came out into their hands. Like, are we crazy? Which brings us to the last couple that I'm excited to talk about, which I don't even know how much we can say. But Steven, and as people are referring to her, Monica or Monica. So that's, we can't even say it because we'll get canceled. That's a guy who didn't know he was black.
The thing that we can say,
Yeah.
why is she so obsessed with flowers?
Here's what I'll say.
My God.
She, to me, you know how I said I picked the Pakistanis of the season? So Nick, Leo, Monica. Monica has said, I'm 36 and I'm not married. Oh, and she's like twitching.
She's literally twitching.
Twitching the whole time in Mexico. If somebody asked her, like, hey, how's it going? She's like, really good, really good, really good. And every time she's talking to Steven, she's like, I love you. I love you.
The amount of times they have said it to each other.
I don't even think he's
at the end of-
responded that.
No,
I'm spitting from the rage. So sorry.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
They are the flags
and
aren't
she talks
even that
in
big.
this voice that's like Steven. And like the thing is, and they're like, you didn't change your voice. What voice was that? But the thing is, I'll tell you why that matters. She has said the reason that she's single this long. Oh no, 36. I'm 35. She's like, I care about things like where they go to school and their job and da-da-da. Steven is an electrician who went to a 2-year university. What I will say, by the way, in the U.S., electricians cleaning up. They're making 6 figures. They have union jobs. They're doing great.
It's a good
job,
yeah.
and it's not easy. And
even in the UK, it's skilled labor.
It's a skilled labor. So I don't mean to diminish that, but I'm saying she has a certain standard of living that she wants.
Yeah.
But she is choosing the fear of being 37 and unwed over therapy, over making herself a nicer person, a more understanding person. Her having standards is not wrong.
Why can't she buy herself flowers?
If you know what you want from a man,
Miley Cyrus. Get in touch with Monica.
First of all, Miley Cyrus's number 1 hit song. You can find it on Spotify. But number 2, you are so desperate to not be single that you are throwing all standards out the window. And then when this sea urchin is not able to be those standards, you are angry at him.
Yeah.
He has proven to all of us around the world to be an absolute Dumbo.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, shocking, this man is cheating on her.
So problematic.
Cheating on her.
I knew he was problematic from that conversation that they had at the beach club.
Yeah.
Where he just entered and we can't even talk about what he said.
We literally can't. I wish we could put a clip in.
It was, I mean,
I'll give you like a G-rated version. He essentially is... These fireworks go off.
Yeah.
All the couples are kind of coupled up and they're like, oh my God, fireworks. And he doesn't go and stand with his fiance, Monica. Monica, if you don't buy me flowers, I'm going to burn this resort to the ground, Monica.
Yeah.
He opts not to do the romantic thing. I will say she was very passive aggressive and came up to him and was like, okay, well, that was romantic. Now this man.
Again, we don't see all of it.
But see.
We don't know what happened because they never showed us the scene.
I'm like, you could be.
It just cut to her being passive aggressive and angry.
He's just a guy. And then, because I'm telling you, my new theory is Love is Blind is literally a program to punish women.
No. So they were never suited to each other from the very beginning. We saw it. They couldn't see it.
No, she
for
saw
whatever
it,
reason,
dude. She just made a shaadi karni.
But
that was it.
But the fact that every conversation they ever had
was about physicality.
Constant red flag.
Constant. Honestly, I
knew this would never work.
He was speaking in a way that was, to me, would have been very degrading. And she was speaking to him like he was a complete idiot and a brokey, which he is. And by the way, he was unemployed by the time they got out there and she was paying for things. So she catches him cheating essentially in a disgusting manner. He's pretending to be at a sleep study and he's DMing girls. I guess it was linked to some iPad at home. She sees it because but I think he did it on purpose. He just wanted it to end.
He wanted an out because he realized that I cannot give her any of the money.
He's
or the life
Googled YSL and he was like, oh God.
The minute the flower, and I keep coming back to the flower conversation. The minute that conversation happened, he checked out and he was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I think that beach club night also, he was done. That's the conversation he was having with his other friend, the serial killer.
Racist guy who kills.
And she was just angry because he was giving her no time because she probably picked up on the vibe of him.
Yeah.
Where he was just I gotta get out of this.
She kept saying, I love you like a threat.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, dude, you didn't care who you were going to marry. Yeah. She just wanted someone that she could control, get to do what she wanted. She's fully from the mindset that a lot of us Pakistani girls are brazen.
Yeah.
Train kar lo. You will mold your husband. He'll get it eventually. And it's like, no, he won't. She needs therapy. We need therapy.
We genuinely need therapy after watching this.
I really hope that this was an actual review and not just ranting. But believe it or not, there are some episodes left. We have the wedding episodes, and then we have...
I usually skip through those. Yeah. But I'm excited about the... Yeah, I skipped to the altar. I'm excited about the finale.
And then finale/reunion, we will be back to do a deep dive.
Absolutely.
If you watch, this was an hour long. We wanted it to be 30 minutes. Let me know what you guys think if you enjoyed this. Full disclosure, also make sure you're following City FM 89's YouTube because we have so much content coming out now, much of which has been produced by my friend over here. And make sure you
I would just like to ask you guys nicely, subscribe, hit that notification bell because honestly, it actually really helps. You will know when we do stuff like this.
Absolutely. And
And
Make
share
sure
with
you
your friends.
Share with your friends. And if you have any thoughts on Love is Blind, please comment below. We'll address some of them in the next one. And yeah,